Okay, so we got it here. Ham. We're gonna do it with some pinto beans. So I took this ham right here, about 10 pounds. I put it into the roaster oven. Got it set on about 175 degrees, maybe a little bit more. And this thing's gonna cook all night. We're gonna be canning some beans tomorrow, so see you then. Alright, so it's the next day. It's about 11:30, and we put this ham on yesterday evening about 6:30 or so. And I got it this morning and I started breaking it up. And you can see it's coming all to pieces now. I'm gonna take and start breaking all the pieces off, and you'll see some of the ham that'll kind of rise to the top and whatnot. But these are, you got to get this thing cooked down and broke up for the beans. We'll put them on shortly. Alright, so here's the ham. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this out of this little piece at a time and break it up, and then I'm gonna put it back in there. So it's done cooked that off the bone. That's the bone. You can see some of that fat and stuff in there. And I'll just take and break off a couple pieces at a time, like this here, and just break it up, breaking this up, break it up. Break it down. You need to just take your knife and cut it. This thing still has a good ways to go, so we'll just keep breaking it up. Right now we don't need the bone, we'll throw that away. Or we can feed it to the dog, I suppose. But you'll see this fat stuff starts coming out. Let's pull that over to the side. We're gonna get all that out of there. Another bone. So you're just making sure you get all the bone out, to get as much fat of it as you can, break it into little pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this all through the beans so that the ham will be evenly distributed through all the jars. So let that go for a little while. The thing's not really boiling, but it's at a real good simmer, and the ham's all through there. And you see the pieces of fat that rising to the top. Just skim some of that off. I think I got most of it. All the bones, everything's gone out of it. So about time for us to add a few beans in here and get it rolling. That's good. I'm gonna skim some of this fat off, and then I'll be back with you shortly. I'm gonna try to keep this video, short, so I'm gonna just try to get some of the highlight. We got to get to the canning part of it. But this part right here is where we add our beans. I will say that you hear a lot of folks say that soak the beans overnight. Well, I don't soak the beans overnight because I want it to pull in this good flavor of this ham I just put in there. So I'm just wash the beans real good. We'll fix to put them in there, and just depending on what you're using, I'd use this roaster oven. Since we're canning them, I'm gonna let them cook about an hour till they're about half done, and at that point we'll put them in the jars. If you were going to eat dinner or you were cooking a meal for a party or something at the house, 3 hours in this roaster oven at full is these beans would be ready to eat and whatnot. So we're gonna can them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see, we'll get everything going. I got all that fat stuff off of there. Then we're just gonna add the beans right in there. This is 5 pounds of bean, 10-pound ham. Just let you know what I added. And this is an 18-quart roaster oven, and it heats around the side. So I think you can pick one of these up at Walmart for about $30. So anyway, I'll check back with you shortly. Okay, while we're waiting for the beans to get finished, I'll go ahead and get my canner ready over here. I'm gonna go ahead and heat my jars up because when you got something hot, you need to put it in a hot jar so that the difference in the temperatures don't break your jars and whatnot. So that's the difference between what you call a hot pack and a cold pack. This is a hot pack, and those hot beans are going to go in those jars, so we need to get those at least get them to a similar temperature. Beans are starting to look real good, and you can see where that ham's all the way through there now, and that's why we had to cut it up. So about another 15 or 20 minutes, and these ready to go in the jars. So you want to get them a third to maybe halfway finished, because they're going to be in that canner for an hour and a half. So you don't want to get them completely done. Alright, so I got my canner ready. The beans, I've already shut them off. They ended up cooking about an hour and a half instead of an hour, but an hour and a half. And you just have to use your best judgment on there. If those beans cook too long in that jar, then they'll be mushy. So I always get them about halfway done, which is about right, because I said it takes about 3 hours to finish these beans off. So it's been an hour and a half. And then we're gonna put them in a jar. But if you want to know a lot about canning, I suggest you watch some more videos, maybe buy a cookbook or a book on canning, stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go through this real fast on filling one of the jars, and then anyway, I'm not gonna try to get into a whole lot of detail about the canning. In other words, I'll show you just real fast, and then we'll go from there. But here's some of the tools you use: funnel, spoons, clean rag, magnet, lids. I've got some the metal lids back here that I've preheated. The pressure canner is on warm right now, so these jars are nice and warm. The beans are nice and warm. So you can just grab the jar, sit it right here. You can use these. However, it depends on how sensitive you are to it. I got pretty tough hands, so I don't really need the clippers. Sometimes I do. Alright, so here's our beans. We're going to take and mix them up real good. All that ham is all the way through there, man. It's looking really good, smelling really good. Use our funnel right here. I'm going to try to get over here kind of like close. So here's the process: warm jar, warm food. Mix this up real well like this. Beans in the jar. And you don't want to overfill this, and you want plenty of juice in there. A little bit more, probably right to the bottom of that funnel. Okay. At this point, you take one of these little doohickeys here, or whatever you got, preferably rubber, so it doesn't make any kind of a hard contact with your jar or anything. And you just go around the side and make sure you push all the air out. All the air. And sometimes you'll see you may have to go back and add just a little bit more juice or whatever. Bring it back up to where you want it. It's about 1 inch. Yeah. Okay. Once you get that in there, take a clean rag and make sure you wipe the top real well, where it's going to make contact with the seal in the jar. Okay. Take your magnet, because these are a little bit warm. Grab your lid, place it down on here, get it centered. Jar's hot. Then let it down. And those are just finger tight. So your finger tight, you want to be able to get those back off after they've been in here. Still not too warm. So that's the first one. Here's the second one. Okay. So we'll go through that problem. I'll go through this one more time for you. Make sure you mix this up good. You want to get them beans and ham real even. And that's some good looking stuff right there, I'll tell you what. Good looking beans. that down, get the air out. You really don't want to overfill your jar. It'll cause you to have a blowout. I know it's tempting to go ahead and fill up that little bit extra space, but don't do it. Make sure you keep at least that 1 inch in there. Clean rag again. Clean the top. Sure it's clean. Bagging it. Pick up the lid. Center it. Finger tight. Okay. We're going to continue doing this process and, until all these beans are gone. My canner will do 7 quarts at a time. So I'll probably have to do this in 2 batches. Okay. So we'll be right back. Okay. We got canner nice and full. Got it going on to a boil. We're going to put the lid on it. And then we got to let it vent. Okay. See, you got it venting right here. This air release thing is up, but irregardless, when you turn it on, you need to let it vent for at least, I would say, 10 minutes to get all the air out of there. Air expands at about 10 times the rate of steam, and what you're trying to do is bring steam into this container, so therefore it pushes all the air out. And when the steam turns back into the water, then it leaves the vacuum, and that's how you create the vacuum seal. Okay, so in about 10 minutes, I'll put the weight on there. I'm using a 10-pound weight. I'm about 700 feet in elevation, so that's 10-11 pounds right in there. If you're higher than that, you might have to use 15-pound weight. Okay, when this thing comes up to temperature, we got the right pressure on there, we'll start the timer for 90 minutes. See, my weight's moving. That's a 10-pound weight, but my gauge is off a little. Ow! It's off a little bit. Okay, that's because I dropped it one time. Anyway, at this point, we'll put 90 minutes on it, and we'll see what the results are here shortly. All right. Alright, it's been 90 minutes. We're just going to turn the heat off and just let it cool down naturally. Don't fool with it. And we're going to set the rest of them out. You see them, they're still cooking. Still going. So, once the vent goes down, but always remember, just try to let it cool down slowly and separate your jar so that they can cool down. Not too fast. But that's a pretty good looking can of beans. There we go. We're going to take these out. Ooh, be careful. And I got 6 more I'm fixing to load in here, and that's how many quarts it made. Made 13 quarts altogether. These 7, and I'm fixing to put 6 other ones in there. And there they are, still boiling. Look real good. Alright, I appreciate y'all watching.